There was a Spanish traveler who crossed the entire width of South America. Some years after the conquest of Peru had begun, he reported seeing huge cities. Within 100 years, other Spaniards were in there exploring. They couldn't find the cities. So they said, he must have made it all up. And that's what academia continued to say. And they're only being found now.
Perched on the rugged hills overlooking the ancient city of Cusco, the capital of the Inca Empire, stands the majestic fortress of Sacsayhuaman. This colossal structure, crafted with mind-boggling precision and architectural genius, has withstood the ravages of time, silently guarding the secrets of a civilization long past.
This is one of those cases where the science is even more sensational than the headlines.
Imagine stones so large and perfectly fitted that not even a piece of paper can slide between them, and you begin to grasp the mystery and allure of Sacsayhuaman. This fortress, more than just a military bastion, is a testament to the Incas' advanced understanding of engineering, astronomy, and their profound connection to the natural world, challenging us to rethink our perceptions of the ancient world. Its story begins long before it caught the eye of Western historians and archaeologists, having been a significant part of local life and culture well before the Spanish conquest of the Inca Empire in the early 16th century.
The horrendous catastrophe of the Spanish conquest. The Spanish sent ahead of them terrible diseases like smallpox.
The Spanish first encountered Sacsayhuaman during their conquest of Cusco in 1533. Led by Francisco Pizarro and his brothers, the conquistadors were immediately struck by the grandeur and precision of the fortress, which was then a central feature of the Inca capital. Among the earliest and most vivid descriptions we have of Sacsayhuaman were penned by Pedro Sancho, Pizarro's secretary. Writing shortly after the fall of Cusco, Sancho's detailed accounts, alongside those of his contemporaries, provided a first glimpse into the size of the stones and the sophistication of the construction, laying a foundation for future archaeological investigations.
That's me, for scale, standing beside that block.
As the 19th century rolled around, the ruins of Sacsayhuaman piqued the interest of international travelers and scholars, spurred on by the growing field of archaeology. Notable among these was Ephraim George Squire, who visited Peru in the 1860s. His detailed sketches and descriptions further fueled worldwide interest and brought more attention to the site's historical and architectural significance. By the early 20th century, the first systematic studies were underway, mapping the site's structures and attempting to understand its historical context. However, these early efforts were often limited by the techniques of the time and a colonial mindset that occasionally misinterpreted the site's purpose and construction.
Archaeology gives this work entirely to the Incas, even though the Incas themselves recognized and honored the work of predecessors.
Advancements in archaeological methods in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, including digital mapping, detailed stratigraphic analysis, and remote sensing, have significantly enhanced our understanding of Sacsayhuaman. These modern techniques have shed light on the construction sequence, the true extent of the site, and its various phases of use, ensuring that each stone and artifact found continues to contribute to the story of a civilization known for its remarkable architectural feats and deep integration with its environment and the cosmos. The construction of Sacsayhuaman stands as a pinnacle of Incan engineering and craftsmanship, incorporating advanced techniques that continue to puzzle historians and engineers even today. The massive boulders used in its construction were quarried from limestone deposits around Cusco, and transporting these behemoths, some weighing as much as 200 tons and spanning several kilometers, remains one of the great enigmas of Incan ability. It is believed that thousands of laborers, without the aid of the wheel or large animals, maneuvered these stones using nothing but logs, ropes, and collective human strength. The cutting precision of these stones is nothing short of extraordinary. The Incas mastered a technique known as ashlar masonry, which allowed them to fit stones so tightly together that no mortar was needed. The fit is so snug that not even a blade of grass can slip through the joints, which also provided significant earthquake resistance. The stones could shift slightly and resettle without causing the structure to collapse. an essential feature in the earthquake-prone Andes. Moreover, the architectural layout of the walls, composed of gigantic stones in a zigzag pattern, forms 3 parallel lines that merge into a formidable barrier. This design served not only as a strategic military defense, but also held symbolic meanings, perhaps representing the teeth of a puma, with Cusco itself theorized to be laid out in the shape of this sacred animal when viewed from above. Expanding beyond its visible structure, the layout of Sacsayhuaman is deeply complex and extends into both ceremonial and strategic realms. The zigzag walls, stretching over 600 meters, seem to echo the jagged peaks of the Andes themselves, blending the natural landscape into its sacred architecture. This design not only provided a stunning aesthetic connection to its surroundings, but also reflected the Incas' profound reverence for nature and the deities believed to reside within these natural elements. Researchers have also suggested that Sacsayhuaman's design incorporates an acoustic feature. Tests have shown that sounds made at certain points within the complex can be clearly heard across vast distances without any echo, indicating a sophisticated understanding of sound dynamics. This acoustical engineering would have been particularly advantageous during large gatherings and ceremonies, allowing leaders' voices to be projected to extensive crowds. Additionally, the site's astronomical significance is highlighted by the orientations of its walls and specific architectural features, which align with celestial events such as solstices and equinoxes. Continuing with the architectural and engineering marvels of Sacsayhuaman, the Incas demonstrated remarkable ingenuity in water management by incorporating an advanced drainage system within the construction. This system was critical in handling the heavy rainfalls typical of the region, effectively preventing erosion and water damage to the structure. Alongside this, the tiered terraces not only provided a robust defense mechanism, but were also ingeniously used to manage soil erosion and fertility, likely supporting gardens or smaller structures within the complex. When comparing Sacsayhuaman to another iconic Inca site, Machu Picchu, some intriguing differences and similarities emerge, particularly in terms of purpose, function, and construction techniques. Sacsayhuaman, often misconceived solely as a fortress due to its massive walls and strategic location, primarily served as a ceremonial site and a symbol of imperial power and divine authority. In contrast, Machu Picchu, built around the mid-15th century, functioned as a royal estate for Emperor Pachacuti and was heavily focused on religious ceremonies and astronomical observations. The construction styles of these two sites also reflect their differing roles and philosophies. Sacsayhuaman is characterized by the use of enormous stones, meticulously fitted together without the use of mortar. This construction technique, showcasing large-scale monumental architecture, was likely intended to display power and durability. On the other hand, Machu Picchu, while also renowned for its precision stonework, utilizes smaller, more regularly shaped stones that integrate seamlessly with the natural landscape, reflecting an overarching philosophy of harmony and balance with nature. Moreover, the locations and overall designs of Sacsayhuaman and Machu Picchu further highlight their distinct purposes. Sacsayhuaman's position on a high plateau overlooking Cusco gives it a robust, militaristic, and expansive design, symbolizing its role as a guardian over the capital. In stark contrast, Machu Picchu is nestled between mountain peaks, often enshrouded in mist, creating a more secluded and mystical ambience that is designed to blend into its mountainous surroundings, emphasizing its spiritual and retreat-like nature. These strategic choices in location and design not only served practical purposes, but also conveyed the spiritual and cultural values of the Inca civilization. Continuing the exploration of Incan architectural ingenuity, Sacsayhuaman not only stands out as an architectural and ceremonial masterpiece, but also as a strategic military fortress, exemplifying the Incas' deep understanding of military tactics and effective landscape utilization. Its defensive characteristics are meticulously designed, blending the natural and constructed environments seamlessly. Strategically perched on a hill overlooking Cusco, Sacsayhuaman's elevated position offered the Incas a crucial vantage point from which they could observe any approaching threats. This advantageous positioning provided ample time to prepare defenses or mount counterattacks, making it an integral part of the region's security. Access to Sacsayhuaman was deliberately limited, with a few heavily guarded entrances. These were intentionally designed to be narrow, forcing attacking forces to enter in reduced numbers and become vulnerable to attacks from defenders positioned along the walls above and to the sides. Within the walls, the arrangement allowed for excellent visibility and easy communication between different sections of the fortress. Signal fires and other forms of visual messaging were used to coordinate defensive efforts across Sacsayhuaman and with other nearby fortifications, further enhancing its defensive capabilities. When comparing the defensive structures of Sacsayhuaman with those of medieval European castles, like the iconic Edinburgh Castle in Scotland, several intriguing contrasts and similarities come to light. Unlike the stone and mortar construction typical of European castles, Sacsayhuaman's walls were crafted using the ashlar technique, which involves fitting stones together without mortar. This technique not only provided significant earthquake resistance, but also ensured there were no weak points like mortar that could be easily undermined or eroded. Both Sacsayhuaman and many medieval castles share the strategic positioning on elevated ground, a common defensive feature that underscores the universal tactical advantage of controlling high ground. This strategic similarity highlights the shared understanding of defensive architecture across different cultures and epochs, each adapting to their unique environments and technological capabilities.